What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Waste World Podcast, the podcast that dives into the people, companies, and ideas shaping the future of waste and recycling. Always here. Well, I haven't been because I've been moving, and then when I moved, there was no internet in my house, so I had to take more time off from doing these kinds of things. But as always, I am your host, Gage Edwards, and today we are filling in for a podcast that was rescheduled, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. There is still content. There is still things to talk about. But today we are talking about the most recent, the 2025 version of the International E-Waste Day that just happened on October 14th. I had a feature go up on waste360.com, which you can read right now, about the companies shaping e-waste in the industry now. And today we're going to take a look at how some leaders across the industry are tackling, one of the fastest growing waste streams on the planet, that being electronic waste. It's good to be back with everybody, though. Before we get into that, hopefully I wasn't missed too much, and hopefully you enjoyed the Waste Expo sessions we were able to post in my absence. Hopefully I'll be able to make videos again soon, but I am out for the next 2 weeks. If you're hearing this on Monday, what's it going to be? The 20th? I will be out on vacation. So there will be these pre-planned recorded podcasts. But we do have some good ones coming up. A great one we just recorded with a company that we can't reveal yet, but that will be live next week, a week after this one is published, so 7 days later than the 20th. That will be the 27th if you're good at math, unlike me. So yeah. Good stuff coming up. And of course, pay attention to waste360.com for all news and items related to the waste and recycling industry. There you'll get to the full breakdown of different pieces of interesting news going on across the industry, and there's a lot going on right now. As I'm recording this, the government is still shut down. I don't know what it'll look like in a week, but that has had some implications on some jobs in the sector that we work in, so make sure you check out our articles based on that. Some great Q&As from the National Plastic Conference that I went to about a month ago. Those are available now. There's still one in the pipeline because I've been so busy. I haven't been able to make sure that they all come out, but they're available and they're informative. So check those out. So let's get into some e-waste. E-waste isn't new. It is exploding because people like me need an iPhone every year and I have to upgrade. According to the latest global e-waste monitor, the world generated more than 62 million metric tons of discarded electronics last year. Wow, that is so much. Imagine looking at something that is like, yeah, that pile over there, 62 million metric tons. Wrap your head around that. Less than a quarter of it was properly collected or recycled. Not great. Not great. A lot of people out there don't know what to do with their electronics. They don't know what to do with their laptops. They don't know what to do with their toasters when they're done, their microwaves. So there are mountains of old phones, laptops, batteries piling up faster than ever. And most of it's going to landfills to be lost, or it's going to informal sector. It's muddying the waters out there, and it's getting dangerous. Batteries, always a hot topic, pun intended, where they are destructive little things, and in the wrong places, they're going to destroy some stuff. They're going to endanger some people. So we have to really get those out of the waste streams. There is good news, and that's what we're here to talk about today. The good news: the waste and recycling industry isn't sitting on the sidelines. There's a wave of companies stepping up, and it's not just to recycle electronics, but rethink how we handle them all together. That's what we're talking about now. We're going to start off with one company that is always in my inbox with the cool things they have going on. That is Blancco Technology Group. They've turned one of recycling's biggest challenges, data security, into environmental solutions. Now, what that means is Blancco specializes in secure data erasure, meaning instead of shredding old IT assets, they wipe them clean so they can be reused safely. In 2022 alone, Blancco securely erased more than 52 million devices, preventing roughly 74 million kilograms of e-waste heading to landfills. That takes care of that pile a little bit, gets things out of the landfill. We don't want them there. So think about that. Millions of perfectly functional computers, phones, and servers given a second life simply because the data was handled the right way. It's a perfect example of circularity meeting cybersecurity. And I especially don't want to throw something away that has data on it. Well, I guess not especially. I'm not doing anything especially weird out there. Oh God, that my computer shouldn't be found. But important companies are like they're turning over their equipment constantly. They can't let customer data just exist out there for the wrong people to find. So if we're able to take those computers that are going to be thrown away or discarded, erase that data, get them back into someone's hands who is going to use something that is lightly loved, pre-owned, as we say, and give it a new life instead of just being considered garbage immediately. That's the stuff, man. That is the stuff. All right, let's move on. Another company we featured in the article is ERI. One of the largest electronics recycling and IT asset companies in the U.S. ERI runs 8 fully certified facilities across the country, R2, E-Stewards, ISO, you name it. And they process hundreds of millions of pounds of e-waste every year. They partner with Blancco, and that partnership has created a model for large-scale recycling that's both data secure and environmentally sound. It's a reminder that certification standards and partnerships aren't just box checking, they're the backbone of responsible, trustworthy e-waste systems. Okay? Trust is a big part of the industry. We have to trust that our stuff is going to the right place. We have to trust that infrastructure is available to have these things work so well. Have sustainability in place. We have to trust this stuff. It's part of it. It's the culture. And not all e-waste looks like a laptop. Some of the biggest challenges are battery recycling, which we talked about, and they will remain a challenge, and they may continue to be a challenge, especially when you got all these kids vaping out there, all these kids huffing and puffing. We got to watch out for them. And one of the companies that has made big strides there in battery recycling is Redwood Materials. Redwood Materials, founded by former Tesla CTO JB Strudable. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name there. We have to meet in real life. We have to meet in person, and I'll get it right. Redwood is building a closed loop system for lithium-ion batteries. They're collecting used EV and energy storage batteries, extracting valuable metals like lithium, nickel, and cobalt, and they're sending those materials back into new battery production. It's circularity on an industrial scale, reducing the dependence on mining and keeping some of the most hazardous components in our waste stream out of landfills, which again, seems to be a common goal here. That's the end goal. Keep them out of the landfills. We don't want them filling up. We don't want them full of hazardous materials. When it comes to plastics, we're looking at MBA Polymers, and they have been at it for decades. They're taking mixed, messy plastic waste from electronics and auto parts and turning it into high-quality resins for new products. It's an area that doesn't get enough attention, but it's critical for cutting the carbon footprint of manufacturing. It all goes hand in hand. All important processes. Speaking of, it's one thing to process materials, it's another thing to make recycling accessible. Companies like Upcycle USA are doing just that by helping out schools, municipalities, and businesses manage their old tech responsibly. They handle everything from secure pickups to downstream recycling. That's, all with the focus on reuse and zero landfill outcomes. Additionally, there's CWG, a major player in the mobile device space. Now, they specialize in refurbishing and reselling smartphones. If you've ever seen how fast people upgrade their phones, namely me, that is critical. We're talking new phones, at least 2 big ones, iPhones. I guess I'm not even a part of the Samsung world myself. I don't even know how many phones they're putting out a year or what other options exist out there. I just see the iPhone space. And what's this next one we're coming up on? Like 3 iPhones and a super thin one, which I guess is still an iPhone, but you put a case on it, it's the same size. Whatever, I digress. Those things are coming out, and that seems wild. That we got to cut down. I mean, Apple's going to sell phones. We know that. We have to figure out the throwing away of phones and making sure that they're not ending up in our landfills, in our recycling, on a truck where they might explode. That's what we want to prevent. That's what we want to prevent. So what does all of this tell us? And I know I'm running through this quickly. I'm kind of scrambling here. I'm doing this late. I have a flight tomorrow, so I apologize that I'm just giving you kind of the overview of some of the stuff we talked about in the article and some of the other stories we have on waste360.com. What this is telling us is that progress is happening. It's not some distant future, but it's right now. These companies are taking their initiatives and they're making strides in the e-waste space. That's, data erasure to plastics recovery to from secure take-back programs to large-scale battery recycling. We have it all going for us. Companies across the industry are building the foundation of circular electronics economy. That's what we want. We're still there. But saying that, there is still work ahead. We know that the recycling industry is not just fixed instantly. We know that one solution doesn't make everything better. There, again, still work ahead. We're at this hill all day long, walking uphill in all parts of the industry. Many devices are designed in ways that make them hard to disassemble. A lot of these companies don't want you to get in there and work with them yourselves. They don't want you to fix them at home. They want you to send them off to Apple, right? So collection infrastructure still lags behind demand. Policy has to evolve to keep pace with innovation, moving pieces that we need to address. That's where this is going to improve. And on this International E-Waste Day, the message remains clear. I guess I'm recording this on International E-Waste Day, so you're hearing this a little late, but the message will still be relevant when you're hearing this. Waste and recycling, the industry isn't just managing the problem. We're looking to redefine the solution. We're not reinventing the wheel every day, but we're trying to give you the best iteration of the wheel that we can, right? These solutions, they take a long time. They take a lot of funding, and the big bombastic things, they can get lost in the weeds sometimes or overlooked. But if we take the infrastructure we have and keep building upon that and redefining what that is, and that solution only gets better and better and better incrementally, we start getting things out of landfills or keeping them out of them. Again, end goal, that's what we're talking about. That is your overview of what we had going on International E-Waste Day. Some of the highlights, some of the featured companies in that little article that we put together. So make sure you check that out. I know this is probably a weird sounding podcast. I know you probably didn't want to just listen to me almost read what I wrote on the article there and kind of just got like, hey, here's the Cliff Notes version. Here, if you didn't read, you don't want to read, you don't have the time to, here's the version you got. So you got me talking into a small microphone in my dark office as I prepare to get on a plane in a few hours. So now I get to edit this and make it sound fancy. Hopefully the playback doesn't sound bad. Hopefully this doesn't sound bad in a car or on your headphones, but hopefully you took some good from this. You learned from this, got some insight of what's going on International E-Waste Day. You know to go to waste360.com to read more. And if you're listening to this, hey, thanks. Thank you for listening. Make sure you're going out there and doing your part, though. My part was talking to a small microphone. Your part is rating the podcast 5 stars, subscribing to the podcast on your favorite podcasting services, commenting where available. I'm not sure where you can comment anymore. YouTube for sure. Spotify, I think you can comment on. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know what you want to hear about on the show, and maybe we can make that happen. So thanks for listening to this special handheld episode of the Waste World podcast. You should see what this looks like. Again, I'm knee deep in laundry that needs to be done, that needs to go in a bag. We're getting there. If you enjoyed today's discussion, again, don't forget to follow and subscribe to the show wherever podcasts are available. Spotify, Apple Play. Those are the two I know. I know it's in more places. Those are the two I gravitate to. You can find more stories, interviews, and other industry coverage on waste360.com. And if your company has any standout e-waste or has a standout e-waste initiative, let me know. send me an email. You can find my email on waste360.com. We'd love to feature it on an episode. I'd love to talk to you about what you have going on. We can do an interview as well. Let me know what you got. So, until next time, I've been Gage Edwards from waste360.com. As always, it's our world. Let's not waste it. Thanks for listening. Bye, guys.